Hi, everybody. My name is Matt Bowers. I'm the Director of Building Science at the Oros Group. And today we're going to do a FLIXO tricks short video here. And specifically, we're going to go over parametric objects and setting up parametric objects within FLIXO. So we've got a project right now that is using a curtain wall, and that curtain wall is not meeting the FRSI criteria. And so we've got our triple glazed assembly up here. Okay, we've got our curtain wall frame, we've got our shadow box glazing, we've got our bottom curtain wall frame, and we've got our bottom curtain wall glazing. Okay, and the way that this shadow box is set up is we've got 3 inches from the inside face of glazing to our aluminum facing, and then we've got 3 inches of insulation, and then we've got our interior finish. And so what we want to analyze is we want to change this thickness. All right. And so currently what we would have to do is change this thickness, and then we've got to grab all of this stuff and move it to the inside. Oop, move it to the inside. See, sometimes it gets messy. So we're going to select all of it. We're going to grab it and move it in. And then we would have to reanalyze the model, right? And maybe that doesn't work. So now what we've got to do is grab all of that stuff again, move it out of the way, make this bigger, right? I don't know, 6 inches. And then we've got to grab this and move it back. And so that analysis and design optimization can take quite a bit of time. But within FLIXO, there is a really cool tool that allows us to automatically change the thickness of an object or objects and reanalyze using the variance. And that's what I want to go over here today. All right, so let's set this back up to where it was. I'm just going to hit Control Z a couple times. All right, and so this is how the detail is currently drawn. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this parameter up to change this insulation. So the first thing we need to do is select all of the objects that are going to be moving in this analysis. All right, we're not changing where the curtain wall frame is. We're not changing any of that stuff, but we are going to want to, in some aspects, move all of the things within the screen. So if you select from the upper left corner all the way down, we've got our objects here selected. We're going to go to Edit, Parameter, and we're going to define a parameter. Okay, so the first thing we need to select once we've identified those objects is, you'll see as I move my mouse around, right, different lines become bold. All right, so what we want to select is the line that is going to grow or shrink in our analysis. And in our case, it's going to be this line, right? This line is going to be 1/4 inch to 10 inches, say. All right, so we're going to select that line. Once we've selected that line, the next thing FLIXO needs to know is, okay, what points in this model are going to move when this line gets adjusted? Okay, and so you'll see we have all of these squares at all these extra points over here. Now we can go through and select individual squares, right, throughout this object, and that can kind of take a lot of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our rubber band tool, okay, and we're going to highlight all of the boxes, and now they're all bold, right? Great. So now when we select one, we select them all. A little trick there, okay? Now what we need to do is come over here and we need to define the name of our parameter, and we're going to call this shadow box insulation. Now we need to tell FLIXO what is the minimum and maximum lengths of this line. Okay, so the minimum length, let's just say for our purposes, is going to be 0.1 inches. and the maximum length is 10 inches. All right, now all we do is we click finish. Now over here on the properties side, we have all of this stuff defined, okay? So we've got the name of our parameter, shadow box insulation. We need to name the object, what all of this is, okay? And so we're just going to call this shadow box. All right, now it's been named. So what we can do is we can change the shadow box insulation from 3 inches to a 1/2 inch. And you'll see all of those materials or all of those little object points have moved with the change in thickness here. And we can go all the way up to 10 inches because that's what we defined, right? We can go down to a 1/4 inch, right? Now we can simply just continue to change this thickness and reanalyze. But like I said, we can set up model variance off of this. So let's set this initial model up at 1 inch. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to insert a new page and a new model version. And we are going to insert a parameter. Now the object name is right here. Okay. It's shadow box. And the parameter is shadow box insulation. And what we want to say is, okay, so what's this dimension that we want this variant to do? And we're going to say 2 inches. All right. We'll click OK, and a new tab has been created. And we're going to call this shadow box 2 inches. All right. And now we can copy this page and let's make one that's 3 inches. Okay. Now we're going to go to model version. We're going to select the parameter and we're going to edit it and we're going to change this 2 to a 3. All right. And let's do another one. So we're going to copy this page and we're going to say, let's do 0.25 in no particular order. And we're going to do model version, edit, and change this to 0.25. Click OK. OK. And now we've got 4 models, right? We've got this one, and this is shadow box 1 inch. Shadow box 2, shadow box 3, shadow box 1/4 inch. All right. Now all we need to do is hit F10 and analyze all 4 of these models. And then we can compare them side by side in our report. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so now if we go back and we view all of our models that have been done, our first one has 1 inch of insulation. Our shadow box of 2 inches is 2 inches of insulation. Shadow box of 3 inches is 3 inches of insulation, and our 1/4 inch is a 1/4 inch. So if we come over to our report, we can go to insert a result object. Let's start with a 1/4 inch. There it is, and we can do our analysis. We can do our min-max temperature. Do our min-max temperature from over here. Okay. And now we can just copy this. do our min-max temperature. Come over here. Oop. We delete these. We can go shadow box 2 inches. And we can come over here and we'll do shadow box 3 inches. And what's real interesting about this analysis here is the more insulation that we have in our shadow box, the worse the interior temperature gets. And the reason for that is the more insulation we have out here, the further these isotherms for this glazing need to travel. Right? And if we were to just go view these with our temperature field, we'll see the less insulation that we have, the warmer this wall gets. Because the glass is providing a higher ratio of insulation compared to the insulation in the cavity. Okay. So I hope that this parametric object trick is going to come in handy for you. And stay tuned for future FLIXO videos. Thanks a lot, everybody.